Hey guys, it's Poseidon, and in this video we're just going to be going over the recent tournament results that happened for Mortal Kombat 1. We're going to be talking about Gamescom that happened in Brazil first, and then we're going to go into the top 8 finales that happened for the individual regions that qualified 6 people for Final Combat. In the previous video that I did talking over results, the Middle East event ended up being finished before I recorded, so I did talk about that. So if you're interested in my analysis of what happened in the Middle East top 8 finale that qualified Tekken Master for Final Combat, you can go and check the description, and I will leave a link there for my previous video. But we're going to be going over Gamescom first, and I think the big story here, obviously, is the winner, and that was Ytex, who pretty much came out of nowhere to win this tournament. If you look at his previous tournament results on SRTV, he only has entered a couple of tournaments before, his most recent one being a 3rd place at a huge South America online event that he beat a bunch of good players and stuff, and so he wasn't, it's not like some undiscovered player who literally came out of nowhere. He was obviously immensely talented and went and showed off that he is one of the best players in the world. This easily puts him in the top 20 player in the conversation, in the world conversation, just right off the bat, because he had basically no easy matches. So with a lot of players, when they they win a tournament, they're usually seeded like first in their pool, second in their pool, third in their pool. So they have, a couple, I don't want to say easy matches, but they don't play big names until later on in the bracket after they win a couple matches, because since they're seeded so high, they play the lower seeded people. Those are people who are usually newer to the game, who don't really play the game that much. But Ytex, I don't even know, I think he was seeded like 27th or something, which is pretty high, honestly. But to come like that for a tournament this stacked and to win the tournament, he was seeded to, I think, either lose round 2 or 3 in winners, and ended up, making it all the way through. We can talk about their path. They beat someone named Nico, who was on their team, so definitely no easy match. And then they ended up beating Ako Verde 3-0, top 100 level player, and Ako Verde. Then ended up beating Zeus, who got 3rd place at Evo, made Final Combat, and got 9th place through the Brazil region, which is turning out to be one of, if not the best regions in the world. We can talk more about that. Beats Rockster 3-0, who came in during the Mexico Pro Comp event and made a name for themselves, getting 9th place and going Game 5 with Sonic Fox. And then this is where he starts getting, beating Zeus was already whoa. And this is where it starts getting insane when they beat Scorpion Prox 3-1. So not only did they beat, a top 8 Evo finalist, they beat a former Evo champion. And this was, it starts getting okay, this guy's a winner side top 8. That's absurd. Did it all with Sector and Motaro. I don't think they didn't switch off that character at all. It just was absolutely crushing it with this character, just so good. His spacing was so good. His whiff punishing was insane. His use of armor was next level. It was just, everything was just so good. It seemed like it was so hard to open him up. He made Sector look so broken. Goes in the top 8, goes up against Snake Doe, who ended up beating Gur. And 3-0 Snake Doe's Havoc, who was just on an absolute tear, who outside of the Chilean twins is one of the best players from Chile, and has made it so Chile is obviously one of the best countries for Mortal Kombat in the world as well. And then goes in, and it's kind of okay, now he has got to play Nicolas in Winners Finals. It's okay, this is maybe, crazy, amazing run. This is where the story ends, but he does not, ends up beating Nicolas not only once in Winners Finals 3-1, but again in Grand Finals 3-1. And that's what's so crazy, is that, he beat Scorpion Prox and Nicolas twice, 3-1 all 3 times. It wasn't even these Game 5 sweat sets, where he was quite dominant. The only set that even got to a Game 5 was a set against Zeus, and the set wasn't even on stream. So who knows, how that, the only people that were at the tournament were Zeus or Ytex themselves. But absolutely insane run. I cannot underestimate that this player is definitely, Ytex is already in the top 10, not top 10, maybe, but top 20 player in the world conversation just right off the bat, just from this win. Hopefully we get to see more of them as we round out the top 8. Nicolas ends up getting 2nd place. Really good run from them. Ends up being Lavender Rain in top 8. And then went through their pool with relative ease. I don't want to say, it was too easy, but they went on a good run, and second place, that is still very, very impressive. We have Lavender Rain out in third place. Very, very good run from them. They ended up there. They were in Sonic Fox's pool, but Matsuine ends up beating Sonic Fox. So Lavender Rain ends up playing Matsuine and seemed pretty familiar with the matchup. Wasn't Matsuine get away with anything, any of these like unsafe moves into Tremor, and he was just calling in jacks and was able to win that set. Which put him in winner's side top 8, loses to Nicholas, ends up beating Gur game 5, then beats Snake Doe game 5 to go to the losers final, and then ends up dropping this at the Nicholas. We had Snake Doe at 4th place, absolutely insane run. Then end up beating Gur in pools, as well as beating Killer Genoc. So crazy good runs, beating Y Valentine, the best reptile in the world. Best reptile in the world. I mean, that might be me, but best reptile in Brazil. So very, very impressive run for Snake Doe to get 4th place. We had Gur, the highest placing player from North America, to get 5th place at the event. Great stuff from him. Went game 5 with Lavender Rain, ended up losing to Snake Doe, beats Christian Bushisho, and Scorpion Fox gets a set on a twin. They will get 5th place. Then we have Matsuine at 5th place. Sonic Fox Slayer ends up beating Zeus and King Gambler in top 12. Pretty convincing sets both ways. So very, very impressive stuff. And then the other side of was 5th place, and then the people who got 7th was Scorpion Prox losing to Gur and Y-Tex, and then we had King Gambler who lost to Nicholas and Matsuine getting 7th place, respectfully. And what's a crazy takeaway from this event is that we had all these players, and not like Y-Tex and Lavender Rain and Matsuine, or players who we really haven't seen be able to travel to America to compete. We've had people like Guy Exceptional come and win Last Chance Qualifier, qualify for Final Kombat. We had Zeus get top 3 at EVO and get 9th place at Final Kombat, beating Unjust and only not making it to the round 2 on a tiebreaker. We had Conqueror top 8 EVO. We've had Agamotto I top 8 LCQ, and a lot of those players didn't finish higher than 9th place at this tournament. We had multiple other Brazilian players place equally as high or better than a lot of them. And that just goes to show that we really haven't tapped into the full potential that is this Brazil event, and this Brazilian Pro Comp event has really showed us what this region is capable of, and really made the discussion for potentially this region of Brazil being the best region for Mortal Kombat in the world. It's really a debate. You can see it all over Twitter, and you can have that discussion that Brazil is the best country for Mortal Kombat and is better than the United States. I don't know if you would win that argument. You can make that argument. I think it's really cool. I mean, it's just crazy. A lot of these pools are so stacked. We can go on who got 9th place. Zeus got 9th, Killer Genoc got 9th, Christian Bushisho, very good run, beat Javier in pools to eventually go on to make top 12. Sonic Fox getting 9th place, another huge takeaway from the tournament. It's crazy to think that we made it this far into the discussion of a tournament that Sonic Fox was ahead. We haven't really talked about Sonic Fox other than the people they have lost to, but loses to Matsuine 3-0 in winner's side. Matsuine was just playing the matchup so perfectly, wasn't getting thrown, was tacking every throw, wasn't getting shimmied, just absolutely master class of how to play that matchup, challenged everything, was not letting Sonic Fox get away with anything, and was able to take that set 3-0 and made Cyrex look like not that great of a character. People being like, see, I told you, the Cyrex players being like, see, look, you can OS all the options. But just absolute masterclass. And then Sonic Fox loses to Scorpion Prox. I don't want to say that's too surprising. I think we would have Sonic Fox favored in that matchup. But if Sonic Fox was going to lose at this tournament, people probably would have put money that it was either Nicholas or Scorpion Prox that was going to do that. So it makes kind of sense. But this is the first tournament that people were saying since 2014, since Injustice 1, where Sonic Fox wasn't in a top 8, and during a pro comp circuit. I don't know if this has been a time since Sonic Fox wasn't in grand finals of a pro comp event since Injustice 2. He was in Mortal Kombat 11, every single grand finals of a pro comp offline event, and in the first season of Mortal Kombat 1 was in at least grand finals of every event that was in the pro circuit offline, and you can quote me on that. Not quote me on that. You could quote me if I'm right, but you could fact check me on that. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. I don't think I am, though. Just absolutely absurd stuff, and it doesn't even make top 8 here. Crazy stuff, man. But we're going to go, that's pretty much it for the Brazilian Pro Comp event. If I missed anything, please let me know. There were some great matches, a lot of good stuff. I'm going to try to make some content around the gameplay that happened at this event, but this is just going over what happened. So we're going to be going over the top 8 finales that happened in the Pro Comp that qualified 6 different people for Final Combat. That includes Tekken Master, who I said in the beginning of the video. I talked about that in my previous video because the Middle East event was the first event to wrap up, and I talked about that already, so congrats to Tekken Master for making it. For the Oceanic region, that the qualifier for Oceanic was FGC Boy, who is a General Shao player, an absurdly good General Shao player. I heard about them before this tournament happened. I said Soul School was telling me that FGC Boy might be the best General Shao player in the world. Not like, oh, he's the best General Shao in Oceanic. Like, no, in the world. He said he would put money that FGC Boy would beat Dialogue in a General Shao mirror. So that's big words, and FGC Boy did not disappoint, winning in straight sets, not dropping a set. Beats Vale 3-0, beats Clockwork, we know Clockwork, big content creator. Beats Clockwork 3-2, ended up winning the Australian circuit. Beats Kai D Law 3-0, and then Kai D Law brings it back in grand finals, and it was 3-2. So FGC Boy will be qualifying for Final Combat. And this region, it's a big thing because there's pro comp events for South America, there's pro comp events for North America, there's pro comp events for EU, but there really isn't. You have to really travel really far just to make it to a pro comp event if you're in this Oceanic region. So it's basically like if you don't win this tournament to make Final Combat, you're probably not making Final Combat unless you have the ability to travel to all these events, which I'm sure most of these guys don't. Because it would just be so expensive to travel so far, so frequently to go to these events. So basically, this was a big tournament for them. One of, if not the biggest tournament for this region because of what's on the line. FGC Boy was able to take it. Like I said, Kai D Law gets 2nd place. Clockwork gets 3rd place. 2 Game 5 sets. I really felt for Clockwork. I felt like this is definitely an event he could have won. I think any of these people in this event could have won. Pax ends up getting 4th place. One of the people that beat Soul School ends up going 0-2 at this tournament, 2 Game 5 sets with Pax and Fidget Stimmer. Soul School, one of the biggest names in the Oceanic region because he qualified for Final Combat last year through Oceanic and ended up being like Killer Shinnok and put on an absolute show at Final Combat. So I think people really thought he was the favorite. He was the 1 seed here, but wasn't able to win. This region is quite strong. I'm really looking forward to see what Oceanic can do and what FGC Boy can do in Final Combat. It'll be really cool. Round up 5th place, which tied Fidget Simmer and Vile, and then 7th place was my person who I thought was going to win, Bruno, the person that a lot of people thought was going to win, Soul Clue. Ended up getting 7th place. That just goes to show how stacked this region is, and we truly don't know on any given day who is going to win these tournaments. Okay, so we're going to go talk about is it EU? I want to talk about EU East first because that was the first one that happened. So my prediction to win the event, Honest Bananas was able to win it. Congratulations to them. Absolute tear of a path. They beat Magic T, they beat Wasnet Ninja, they beat Omi, and then they end up beating Macaron. Unfortunately, what happened in this region, Disardi and Takinana weren't able to get their internet working. That is so sad to see, but unfortunately, they weren't able to participate, so players ended up getting further on. So Omi and Fairsko end up getting basically buys to the winner semifinal. So Omi ends up winning Sub-Zero player, and then Honest Bananas was able to beat them and then beat Macaron Game 5 in Grand Finals. Macaron went on a bit of a tear after losing to Wasna Ninja. Ends up going to losers, beats Magic T 3-0, beats Kafersko 3-0, beats Wasna Ninja 3-1, beats Omi 3-0, and ends up losing Game 5. I thought maybe he was just going to have all the momentum, have a tear, have that veteran status. Like, not this moment isn't too big for me. I was at Final Combat last year. But wasn't able to close it out. And Honest Bananas, I think, was probably the best player in this. Like I say, was my prediction. My prediction was Honest versus Fairsko. Honest, at Vianality, went Game 5 with, was it Javier? When Game 5 with Katana Khan to make it out of the pool, And then I think went Game 5 with VGY as well, actually. Yeah, it was VGY and Katana Con, both Game 5s. So I thought Honest was going to go on a run here, and they did. Congratulations, they're going to be at Final Kombat, playing the Havoc. We'll love to see it. This was a really cool region. Seeing Sub-Zero get 3rd place, seeing Makro come out and show out and get 2nd, watching Woznet with the insane Cicada get 4th, and then watching Ferris go get 5th place, and Magic T also get 5th place. Shout out to actually Magic T, both big content creators, and I'm sure we have not seen the last of them. We're going to go over to EU East. EU East, that was EU East. We were talking about EU West now, where Connie Mani was able to make Final Kombat here, so Oceanic was big FGC boy, EU East was Honest Bananas, EU West was Connie Mani. This is again my prediction to win this tournament. So I was, I think, 2 of 2 at this point. Connie wins 3-0 over Kazi's, 3-0 over Javier, 3-0 over Ockstar, and then 3-1 over Video Games Yo. Ockstar ended up beating Video Games Yo. Video Games Yo ends up getting the run back, so it was Connie Mani first, Video Games Yo second, Ockstar third, Rother got 4th place. Katana Con and Javier tied for 5th place, and Kaizen and Uvility both ended up getting 7th place. Like I said, I felt like this region was really between those 6 players that kind of got the top 5 spots. Kaizen and Utility, obviously very good players, but all these players were literally just in top 8 of Vianality minus Ockstar, who was literally in top 8 at LCQ and was in top 5 of UFA. Like, whenever this dude has shown up, he's always done super good. So this was not surprising at all that he ended up going on this run and getting 3rd place with the Reiko. I said Rother ends up getting 4th place, just ended up running into, played Ockstar, ends up beating Uvility and Javier again, beats Javier Game 5 again. They won Game 5 at Biennality, and he was able to take that. So good stuff to Rother, showing that he's definitely 100% legit. It would be cool to see if he's able to make it to Brussels or versus fighting. It would be really cool to see this region, both EU East and West. It would be cool to see these players come out and see what they can do at these EU tournaments that are coming up. But that is going to do it for EU East. Now we're going to go over and get into NA East. This is where some craziness starts to happen. I feel like in these qualifiers, I feel like Tekken Master beating Poseidcast was a bit of an upset, but nothing crazy. I feel like FGC Boy winning Oceanic wasn't too crazy. But like when it comes to NA East and NA West, you know, big names, the 2 favorites who people will be shocked to lose, Ninja Killer and Sonic Box. Ninja Killer ends up losing to Tweety 3-0 in winter semifinals. Tweety beats Rebel, beats Ninja Killer, beats Unjust 3-0, and then beats Ninja Killer in grand finals 3-2 and qualifies for Final Kombat. That dude Tweety coming back after being sick and having to, you know, be in the hospital and stuff. So it's just a very heartwarming, amazing story. I love to see this for Tweety. Come back super strong, just crushed Champion of the Realms, wins that, crushes, or at least the qualifier, crushes the first online qualifier for NA East, wins that, and then just crushes this final and makes top 8. Ninja Killer going out at 2nd place. Ninja Killer was able to secure wins on Sunio, El Bukoy, and Bandino, and the mighty Unjust. Game 5. Unjust going to go and get 3rd place. He was the one who qualified through NA East. I really hope we can see Unjust make it out to more tournaments and potentially earn a spot through points. He's definitely capable of doing that. We had Bandino's ended up at 4th place. Absolute legend. Hope to see him make it out to more events as well. 5th place, we had Sunio and El Quite tied for that. Shout out to my dude Sunio qualifying for this event and then getting a win over Rebel. El Bukoy getting 5th place. Was able to get a set on Pure Game 5, and then Pure and Rebel were the ones who tied for 7th place. Pure definitely someone you want to be on the lookout for. Same thing with Rebel. I know Rebel hasn't traveled a ton for the game. We hope to see him travel for more events. That would be super cool. But yeah, that is going to be it for NA East, and that is going to wrap up this video. Like I said, I didn't want to take super long. I hope I did enough analysis for you guys. We can definitely talk and take a deeper dive into more events, you know, as they come in. I just wanted to give you guys an update. So for Final Kombat, we're already who we have qualified. We got Tekken Master from Middle East. We have FGC Boy from Oceanic. We have Honest Bananas from EU East. We have Connie Mani from EU West. We have Tweety from NA East. I didn't even go to NA West. What am I talking about, bro? What am I talking about? We're not done yet. I was about to say. Hold on a second. I was like, at least I got one more, guys. My bad. Maybe I should have thought this over. So, again, like we were talking about, like who are the favorites from NA East? It was Ninja Code. From NA West, obviously Sonic Fox wins the first Final Combat, wins Evo, wins the first 2 events they show up to for the NA Pro Comp, or for the NA Pro Comp, from the Pro Comp. And so you think that they're just going to, I don't say they're going to run through this, but they are going to win. I mean, they beat Retro 3-0, they beat Hourglass of Rain 3-1, they beat Rewind 3-0. Online Kale, who they end up meeting in Grand Finals, loses round 1 to Young Monster, and then whips out, plays Homelander against Gambler, and then whips out the Terminator against Hourglass, and there was no looking back. It's 3-0 over Hourglass, it's 3-0 over Young Monster in the run back, it's 3-0 over Rewind, then it's 3-1 in Sonic Fox the first bracket, and it's like, okay, we're going to reset, we're going to turn some things back. And it's 3-1 again over Sonic Fox. Your boy Online Kale qualifies for Final Combat through NA West. Absolutely insane run after going to losers round 1. Young Monster kind of showed that he's super legit with that 4th place run. Rewind getting 3rd place. That dude's absolutely insane as well. It's going to be really cool. He signed up for a bunch of the events that are coming up. Combo Breaker, CEO, probably see him at Evo as well. So look out for a Rewind in around top 8 of those events, if not inside top 8, potentially qualifying through points for Final Combat. Would be really cool to see. Love that for him. Absolute legend. Like I said, Young Monster, totally legit. Retro was able to get a win on Harun Rashid. Wasn't able to close out the set against Young Monster Game 5, so that put Retro at 5th place. Hourglass, 5th place, not able to recreate the magic that they did last year. Did beat Harun Rashid, but lost to Sonic Fox and lost to Online Kale. A bit of a tough draw when you lose to the people who made it to Grand Finals and you get 5th place. And then we had Harun Rashid and Gambler rounding at 7th place. So sorry I cut that off a little too early, guys. But so for who qualified for Final Combat for Oceanic, or for Middle East Tekken Master, Oceanic, big FGC boy. EU East on Bananas, EU West Connie Money, EU East Tweety, NA East Tweety, NA West Online Cal. Those are the 6 people that are in Final Combat. Shout out to White Text for winning the Brazil Pro Cup event. I'll see you guys at the next video.